Have you ever wondered why women so often lose themselves over certain men who seem to do less, yet hold more power? It's not money. It's not status. It's not even experience. It's something deeper. The ability to master the unseen frame of desire. And once you understand this, women of all ages begin to chase you, not because you're trying, but because you've become unshakable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Attraction is no different. Control the frame, and you control the game. Most young men lose this frame quickly. They over-explain, they beg, they pursue like restless hunters who scare off their prey. But older men who have learned certain psychological truths, they radiate something magnetic, calm, authority. Imagine two men walking into a room. One fidgets, talks too much, tries to be liked. The other enters with steady steps, shoulders relaxed, and silence in his presence. Guess which one women notice first? Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself," and that mastery begins the moment you stop chasing approval. Here's the brutal truth. Women talk about these things privately, but they rarely admit them openly. Because what draws them in isn't obvious, it's the subtle power that shifts their emotions without them realizing. One principle alone can make her think about you even while she's committed to another. Another can spark rivalry among women who swore they'd never compete. And the most dangerous one? It's the law of the throne. Once you claim it, no woman will ever truly replace you. Seneca once warned, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." The same applies to attention. Scatter it too widely, and you lose all value. Hold it with discipline, and it becomes priceless. This is the path we're about to walk together. A journey through the hidden rules women never speak of, but always respond to. If you're ready to understand why control is more attractive than charm, and why restraint is stronger than desire, then let's begin with the first secret, the stillness effect. When a man moves with deliberate stillness, something primal awakens. Most men fidget, talk too fast, and wave their hands nervously. Screams insecurity. But when you slow down, when every gesture has weight, women feel it instantly. Confidence isn't about noise, it's about presence. Think of a lion in the wild. He doesn't need to roar constantly to command respect, his calm stillness is enough. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Your stillness shows that your ambition is not to please, but to embody control. But stillness alone is not enough. What truly drives women mad is mystery. Not the shallow kind, but layered mystery. Most men ruin attraction by telling their entire life story on the first date: dreams, fears, finances, everything laid bare. There is nothing left to discover. Older men who understand the game reveal themselves piece by piece. Each conversation is like peeling back another layer, enough to spark curiosity, but never enough to solve the puzzle. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Holding back details may make you seem guarded, but it forces her to keep seeking you out. Imagine watching a series with no suspense, the ending revealed in the first episode. You'd lose interest instantly. But a story with layers keeps you coming back, restless for the next chapter. Seneca warned, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. By guarding parts of yourself, you keep control, and she becomes the one chasing answers." The rule is simple. Reveal only enough to spark her imagination, but never enough to satisfy it. Let her mind do the work. When she is replaying your words late at night, searching for hidden meaning, you've already won. Most men drown women in constant attention, texting non-stop, liking every photo, responding in seconds. They think it's romantic, but it trains her to take them for granted. The truth? What is always available loses value. Older men know their attention is the rarest commodity. They give it generously, but not constantly. A message delayed, a compliment saved, makes every interaction feel like a reward. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more." That is poor. In the same way, a man who withholds some attention makes her crave what she cannot fully have. Think of it like water in the desert. Every drop becomes precious because it's scarce. When your focus shifts between your work, your passions, and her, she fights to win back that spotlight. She dresses sharper. She rewrites her texts. She competes silently for your validation. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If her mind is consumed with earning your attention, you've already shifted the balance of power. But desire intensifies when you show restraint in what she expects most sex. When she feels your attraction, but you don't act immediately, her imagination works harder than anything you could do physically. Anticipation is more powerful than instant gratification. Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Sexual restraint is mastery of self-control. You create a storm of curiosity inside her because she cannot control your timing. Picture this. She leans closer, waiting for you to make the move, but you hold steady. Later, she lies awake, replaying the tension, imagining what you haven't yet given. Your silence and patience make her desire expand beyond the moment. The rule is clear. Give her enough to feel wanted, but hold back enough to keep her restless. When she fantasizes more than you act, she becomes addicted. True attraction isn't just about looks or money. It's about status, the respect a man commands without even asking for it. Women are drawn to men who are valued by others. Not the richest, but the ones admired for their craft, their discipline, their character. Imagine walking into a restaurant and the owner greets you by name, or people turn to you for advice in your field. That subtle recognition raises your value in her eyes instantly. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. When others respect you, she feels pride in being chosen by you. But status alone isn't enough if you can't hold steady in the storm. Women test men with emotional chaos, anger, tears, frustration. Most men collapse under pressure, either trying to fix everything or losing control themselves. Both destroy respect. The rare man becomes the calm center of the hurricane. He doesn't fight the storm, he anchors it. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By staying grounded, you show her that her emotions cannot shake your foundation. Picture this. She raises her voice, throws sharp words waiting for you to break. But instead you remain composed, your tone steady, your presence unshaken. Slowly, she softens. Deep down she realizes, this man can handle me at my worst. Seneca once wrote, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Her storms are those trials. If you remain unmoved, you don't just earn her respect, you earn her trust. The rule is simple. Build respect in the world, then show her you cannot be broken by her chaos. When she sees you as both respected by others and steady under pressure, her attraction turns into something far deeper: devotion. The most dangerous weapon a man can carry is memory. Most men forget details, but the one who truly listens collects patterns, contradictions, and secrets. When you recall her words weeks later, she feels exposed and impressed. Imagine saying, last month you told me you'd never date someone in your field, but now you're considering it. Suddenly, she knows you're paying attention. Seneca once wrote, every man prefers belief to the exercise of judgment. By remembering, you show her that her words matter. It makes her think twice before testing you with lies or contradictions. But memory alone is not enough. Timing shapes desire. The man who rushes to speak, who answers texts instantly, loses his weight. Silence between words builds tension. Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. A pause before answering makes her believe you're thinking deeply. Think of a negotiator who doesn't rush to fill the silence. The longer he waits, the more valuable his words become. The same applies to you. A delayed response creates anticipation. Your voice becomes something rare, not something easily obtained. And then comes silence itself, the most unsettling power of all. Most men panic when conversation stalls, but the man who sits comfortably in silence flips the frame. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best answer to anger is silence, in quiet. She over-explains, reveals insecurities, and chases your approval without realizing it. Picture this. You ask her a question, then remain completely still. Her mind scrambles to fill the space, giving you more than you asked for. Silence becomes your superpower, not emptiness, but pressure that makes her reveal herself. The rule is simple. Remember details, master timing, and weaponize silence. When combined, these three create an aura so rare that she cannot resist leaning in, trying to decode you. True masculine energy has become rare. Too many men hide their strength, apologize for their presence, or soften their edge in hopes of being liked. But women crave the opposite, a man who carries himself with grounded authority without needing approval. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In the same way, real men don't conform to weakness around them. They stand firm, decisive, protective, and when you do, women naturally relax into their feminine energy, feeling safe to follow your lead. Yet presence becomes irresistible when paired with the right touch. Most men either avoid contact entirely or smother with clumsy hands. But the man who understands restraint uses touch like seasoning, sparingly, but with impact. A brief hand at the small of her back, a brush against her arm, fingers grazing as you hand her something. Small, intentional, fleeting touches that linger in her memory. Seneca reminded us. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. Every deliberate touch leaves her grateful for your restraint, craving the next moment. But perhaps the most powerful weapon is emotional detachment. Women lose respect for men who make them their entire world. When your happiness depends only on her mood, you suffocate her. Epictetus said, "Seek not the good in external things. Seek it in yourselves." A man who builds his own life, his passions, his friendships, his mission remains, complete with or without her. This independence makes her work harder to be worthy of your attention. Picture this. You cancel a date because of a commitment to your craft, not as a game, but because your life has structure. She doesn't feel rejected. She feels challenged, intrigued, and that mystery fuels her desire. The rule is clear. Embody masculine energy without apology. Let touch speak louder than words, and live a life that does not depend on her. When combined, these qualities turn attraction into obsession. Women are drawn to men who can lead with quiet authority, not through force, not through begging, but through presence. When you make decisions calmly, "We're going here tonight," instead of "What do you want to do?" she feels relief. She spends all day leading herself. With you, she wants to rest. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's true delight is to do the things he was made for. A man is made to lead, not to hesitate." And when you take charge, you remind her she is safe with you. But leadership becomes even more powerful when paired with mysterious sudden absence. Most men explain every detail, where they're going, when they'll be back. But a man who disappears calmly, without excuses, becomes unforgettable. Epictetus said, "If you want to be invincible, do not enter into combat where victory is not in your control." When you vanish, her mind begins the combat with itself, creating stories, wondering what she did wrong, and longing for your return. Imagine not replying for hours, not because you play games, but because your life is full. Her anxiety grows. Your absence weighs heavier than your presence. And then comes the most dangerous rule of all, the throne. You are the prize. You never step down to beg. Never rearrange your life around her moods. She must rise to meet you. Seneca reminded us, "He who has great power should use it lightly." To sit on your throne is not arrogance, it is discipline. Women don't want to be worshipped. They want to worship. When you embody the throne, she competes to earn her place beside you. Leave it and you lose everything. The rule is unshakable. Lead with calm authority, vanish with purpose, and never leave your throne. The man who masters these three is no longer just attractive, he becomes irreplaceable. A man who reveals everything at once loses mystery. But a man who shares vulnerability sparingly, at the right time, becomes unforgettable. Show strength most of the time, then reveal a glimpse of doubt or a story about your father. Suddenly, she feels chosen, like she's been allowed into a secret chamber. Seneca wrote, "If you would be loved, love." Vulnerability works the same way. By giving a rare piece of yourself, you invite deeper connection. Not because you need comfort, but because you trust her enough to share. This contrasts strength with flashes of humanity creates addiction. But nothing lingers longer than self-respect. Most men bend their standards, tolerate disrespect, or lower their values to keep a woman. This doesn't create love, it kills attraction, Epictetus said. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. If you believe love means sacrificing your self-worth, you've already lost. A woman may test your boundaries, but when she sees you, will walk away rather than accept less. Her respect deepens. Imagine she disrespects you in public. Many men would laugh it off, hoping to keep the peace. But the man of unbending standards calmly sets the line or leaves. She may be angry in the moment, but inside, she knows this is the man she cannot break. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. And be one means never compromising your values for affection. Women forget the man who bent for them, but they remember forever the one who stood firm. The rule is final. Guard your vulnerability like gold. Share it rarely, and never abandon your self-respect. When you live this way, you don't just attract women, you become the standard by which all others are measured. And once she has felt that presence, every man after you feels like a shadow.